Mhm.
And the other aspect of that is helping people with the issues and challenges they may be facing in their life, and
Mhm.
kind of helping them work through that, and use my abilities to be able to help them get through those with as minimal damage or pain as possible. So that's kind of
Okay.
what's going on there. So for you coming into this, I know this is clearly, as you pointed out, this is very new for you, and
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. Um, what are in terms of doing this, in terms of getting a reading,
Mhm.
um, what's your expectation to get out of the reading
Um,
today?
I guess I don't really have a set expectation.
Okay.
I like being open enough. So I'm mildly skeptical, not necessarily about this, just in general. But I'm also, because I'm skeptical, I'm also open to ideas and I want to understand how processes work. And I'm interested to see how it works out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that will work. All right. I mean, that's fine. I don't care about the skeptical part. I'm never here to convince anyone.
Yeah.
So that helps. Makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because that does, I think in terms of that, it can make things more complicated than it needs to be.
True.
Um, so in terms of things I pick up on, hmm, yeah, that's more about you. Okay. Oh, that is interesting. Okay. Um, I will just, my approach is whatever I get, you get. So it's going to be
Okay.
all over the place a bit. In terms of people who have passed, wait a minute. Okay, that's coming in on sideways. That's weird. Okay, I'll say what I was going to say and then go from there. Uh, so what I was going to say was, as far as people who have passed, a lot of people above you, which would be people who are older, have passed. I don't. No, that's what it feels. I'm just going to go with that. The feeling as far as closeness on those people who are older who have passed, I'm thinking probably like grandparents more than anything else, because
Mhm.
there's at least like one, two, three grandparents identify kind of like grandparents. The closeness level, I don't mean to make you sound like a callous person, but the closeness level that I would have with that is pretty loose. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not like, you were, and I'm totally over characterizing this. It's not like you were completely Velcro to grandpa's leg, and that kind of a thing. It wasn't like that. There's kind of a knowledge and connection there, but it's not super tight. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not as tight as others would be. So I I don't mean that to be offensive if you take it that way, but it's just that's just kind of the level of where it's at. So it's a little more, I don't know. Removed is not. There's distance. That's the best way I could put it, is distance.
Mhm.
But even though you don't feel that connection, they are still connected to you. They're still keeping watch over you. Um, I don't know. Two, one, two L's, males. The males. Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, they're both males. They got to be the grandfathers. Okay, I'll get you in a minute. There are two males. I want
Mhm.
to say they're both grandfathers, is the way they feel. They both
Mhm.
have L's connected in their names.
Yeah.
Um, they're exactly like you, like
Really?
exactly like, yes. Um, you say you're open, which is okay, but
Mhm.
that's kind of a recent development. Okay,
Yeah.
they acknowledge you more as hard-headed, very stubborn, um, uh, actually a big risk taker.
Really?
Is what they show that is like, it's calculated risk, but it's a risk nevertheless, and it's like
Yeah.
they're really clear on that. Both of these guys who have passed, it's super hard work for them. Their life is nothing but hard work and doing that. And okay, now this is where they're different. Okay, they're not exactly identical here. So I have, I'm going to say L1 and L2 because I don't get definitive names here. L1, I feel like he's connected to your mom's side, is much more stable, nailed down. Mainly because, at least the way I see him here, he's got a cowboy boot and there's a nail driven into the ground through the toe of the boot, which means he can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And he's saying his wife never would let him do it anyway. So he's just kind of stuck doing it. So that's him. He's very, very stable. The other one is the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Very impulsive, lots of moving around, and not small stuff. At least what I'm hearing from him is if you're going to do something, do it big. So his is like, no, let's not move like 50 miles. Let's move 500 miles or something like that. There's that kind of movement that's going on with him. But again, stubborn, still very stubborn, very, very focused and going in that direction. And I think that's him. The more impulsive one, there's an August connection with him is the feeling I get. What's the August connection for him?
That's the one where you mentioned I was more so callous. I didn't know that side all that well. So
Really?
if there's a birthday or something,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I can't validate if I'm getting that. Okay. Well, we'll leave that go. Because I see an 8. He wants me to acknowledge that. I call that August. And if you can't validate it, then who cares? I just going to have to let that go and not worry about that. Okay. Yeah, you're looking at things from a different perspective. Okay. Oh, that's the one. Okay. Who's the one who committed suicide that's connected to you? I don't know if this is a friend or relative.
I don't think I
They're
know
taking
anybody. Hmm?
they're taking responsibility for their own passing. For me, that means suicide, but
Yeah.
this is younger. This is younger, not older.
Younger? Okay.
Yeah.
I've only been to a few funerals and none of any younger people. I'm sure there's some connection there. I'm not sure
Okay.
how.
Okay. Well, you don't have to make me feel better. It's fine.
Oh, actually, is it possible that one's connected with the L2? Because if
it's
so,
entirely possible because they're just connected to you. So if you're related in any way, you're in the game.
I'm sure he feels because that's the one like I mentioned was looser connection, and I never really got to know him. And if he's anything like my father, because it's my father's father, I'm sure he believes that there's some sort of responsibility he feels that he wasn't there.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's the thing is he wants to call it abandoning. That's what he's showing it as.
Yeah.
It's like when he died, he abandoned, and there's, I don't want to call it guilt, but there is that sense of responsibility. It's like he's let everybody down and he should have been there and he's trying to be there now, but it's not as well, he doesn't have any skin on anymore. So it does make it a little more difficult to do that.
Yeah.
So that's a given that's going on there. So that's another piece that goes, okay, that would be, okay. So that's who's the one who, no, is that male or female? No, it's female. Older, yeah. Older female who passed from cancer?
Yep.
Who's that?
I believe that's my L2's wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I that
It
was my
feels
step
real.
grandma.
Okay. Oh, okay. Step. I never heard that term before. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Step grandma. Uh, very quick with her when she passed. There's like a really sudden, not accident, like it's like one of a sudden kind of a passing, but it is quick enough to be shocking. That's what I feel with her. What else is going on here? I'm trying to get them to zero in more on. Okay, so you're Yeah, you're the yes, we know you got that impulsiveness. Relationships wise are a little odd. Okay, is that okay? Another thing they want me to acknowledge here is this weird relationship pattern you seem to have.
Okay.
It's weird, not in the sense of like abnormal or something, but I don't think it's that bad. That's horrible. They're overstating this a bit because they're showing. I'll show you exactly what they're showing a boat, and it's
Okay.
like all these bodies in its wake, like it's left all these people. That's not what it
Yeah.
is. They're really overstating this.
Yeah.
But what they're showing is, in terms of the relationship piece, it's like, oh, they're showing kind of a jagged path. There's a lot of weird searching.
Mhm.
I use the word weird very loosely, so don't take it as a
I won't.
judgment call. It's you. Okay, I'll put it this way. Usually, when people are relationship searching, they have like a very definite goal in mind, and they go straight for it, and
Mhm.
they just kind of keep trying until they find the right connection.
Mhm.
Your criteria seem to be slippery.
Okay.
Like they're moving all over the place and still trying to figure out, at least the way they're showing it here, what's working. Um, it's almost like it's more fluid,
Okay.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm supposed to talk about travel with you. Um, what's the traveling bug for you that's going on? It's like a lot of movement around.
Yeah. Moved to Japan, came back for a
Okay.
girl, went to Turkey for her brother's wedding, moving to Tennessee. Haven't really been nailed down aside from the fact that I lived with my parents for 18 years. So
Okay.
yeah.
That would definitely be the traveling bug, if anything. Oh my God. Well, that would also make sense. Okay. Oh, isn't you're not done yet. What's the Ireland thing? Are you talking about
Ireland?
going to Ireland?
No, I haven't. I mean, I'm sure my dad's
Really?
mentioned it.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
know
because
that's
they're showing me Ireland is like, I don't know if it's your very next one, but it is. And I don't know why
okay.
Egypt is on your radar, but Egypt is around there. That's more like a fantasy destination, it sounds like,
Yeah.
the way they're showing it. But Egypt is definitely in there.
Mhm.
But you have a strong. Why are they going? Okay, whatever. They're running. I'm just talking. Um, you have a stronger connection to Egypt than you do to Ireland.
Yeah.
Um, it's just like much stronger. Digging rock. Okay. Okay. Things they're showing me. One
Mhm.
is in terms of like they're showing me the act of digging as part of this. I'll just say it the way I see it, and I'm just going to deal with it. Um, an obsession with rock, like
Okay.
digging into the past. It's not just history, it's beyond that. It's almost like doing archaeology for you. It's kind of like an Indiana Jones sort of vibe, is
Huh.
what they're making me feel.
Yeah.
Um, just really digging into that. And then there's this teaching thing.
Mhm.
Um, are you thinking about teaching? Because they're talking about teaching for you.
I've wanted to be a teacher for the longest time. I wanted to live in Japan and teach English as a second language, but I moved back.
Okay, well, that's kind of weird. What? Oh, that's right. Yeah, so you did say that. It
Mhm.
was. Will you move back for a girl, or was
Yeah.
this?
We
Okay,
were
okay.
talking a little bit beforehand. I asked her out, and now I'm living with her. Yeah, you've actually met her. She was with the party with my mom. She was
Oh,
the creative, good at math one. Yeah, too many people.
okay. There's too many people then, not to
Yeah,
mention between the
yeah,
time.
exactly.
I only have about, what was the number? 240 clients right now.
Only?
It's only, yeah, it's a small. Um, but okay, so that was that. How I'll just ask it that way because that's what they're watching. They're showing stability there. How's that relationship working out? Is it done or is it still going?
It's still going.
Yeah.
I would say I'm happier than I've ever been. This is the person that I can
Mhm.
thoroughly communicate well with.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, that's where your change happened too. Okay. Um, how do I describe this without making sense? With making sense, I guess is a better word. Um, yeah. She can speak your language really well,
Hmm.
which is a bit unusual for you, finding
Hmm.
someone who'd be able to actually say, and also actually to be able to say, I'm trying to get this good, to clearly say exactly what's going on in the words that are actually going to make sense without getting too emotionally charged,
Hmm.
is what it feels like. But the awkward difference is that she's actually really emotionally connected. Like there's a lot of emotion bouncing around inside of there.
Yeah.
And she's able to kind of translate that well for you.
Okay.
She's actually brought that out in you a lot more in
Huh.
terms of like emotion, like acknowledging it. Because at least the way people who have passed are kind of like great sources of gossip information. And one of the
Ooh.
things they show is like you're almost like you were much more along the lines of like a Mr. Spock sort of person who would
Okay.
be like zero emotion and just
Mhm.
all very
Robotic.
yeah, computerized robot. I don't know what the word would be. Logic, just complete logic and evidence that
Mhm.
way. It'd be more the evidence kind of thing. She's kind of opened up that door a little bit more in terms of just really getting you to see yourself in a different light. Um, yeah, you got that. No, that's no, that okay, fine. Okay, so you talked about the puppy at the beginning,
Mhm.
but they're talking about the kid conversation.
Oh,
Did you guys talk about that yet, or is this going to be
I've
coming up soon?
I'm a cat person, and I've always wanted a cat.
Okay,
She's a dog person. I
yeah,
settled for a dog.
okay.
That might be where the
But
conversation is.
no, that's not it. They're
Okay.
showing me a child, like a
Oh,
child conversation.
we've had talks about that. We do a lot of dreaming together, so it's a lot of we talk about it in the future.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not saying that, get ready, here it comes, or anything like that. They're not
Yeah.
getting that. They're just acknowledging the conversation.
Mhm.
Um, because they're saying, as far as parenting goes, you would be a very good dad. That's what they're showing. Uh, 3 years ago, that would not have been the case. That's also what things have changed considerably. Actually, for her, things would have been very different as well.
Mhm.
She has softened up. That's interesting. You cracked her shell. Um, the way they show it, she used to have a much more, well, they show a turtle.
Yeah.
It was a turtle shell, soft and gushy on the inside, but
Mhm.
really a protective layer on the outside there,
Yeah.
that they want to acknowledge there. So that's definitely a difference that you both made in there. Um, in an aversion, aversion of disaster. So what was the accident you were almost in? Because they're showing aversion of disaster, like getting away from something that could have been like really bad, like possibly deadly.
I must have really been avoiding it because I don't know of any.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, see, it looks. See, this is gonna sound really dramatic, and I'm not trying to be,
Mhm.
but the way they show it is almost like either a car accident or some kind of nasty
Oh.
near miss, that if you were in, you were, what do I want to say? If you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, it would have been a very bad situation.
Mhm.
Um, was this, how long ago was this? A year and a half ago.
Huh.
This is a year and a half ago. They're showing 1 year, 6 months.
Mhm.
That's what they show for that. So I'm not sure. I mean,
I would have.
you're alive, and that's great.
Yeah.
Um, but that's one of the things they want to acknowledge there as well. Um, healing aspect, okay, that's happening for you. That's been really good. Um, memories are still plaguing just a little bit,
Mhm.
is what they're showing there. Um, uh, interesting. So many times people will have memories, and it will be I call it the shoulda, woulda, coulda syndrome, where it's,
Mhm.
I could have done this and things could have gone this way. And if I had only done this, it's almost like a self-flagellation sort of thing that happens.
Yeah.
That's not what's happened for you. It's the way they show it is you're looking back at those memories and you're mining them for lessons so
Okay.
that you don't make the same thing happen again, and also so that you don't see those things as well, because it's kind of a both and sort of thing.
Okay.
So that's one of the pieces that, and you basically, not a bad thing, you stumbled into a really good relationship,
Yeah.
and you were
I did.
not intending that. You
No.
totally were not looking for that.
No.
Because the best way I could describe it is that the relationship checks the boxes, but they are boxes that you had no idea that were even on your list.
Absolutely.
So that's been, and it continues to be pleasant surprise.
Mhm.
Um, is that you? No, that might be her. I'm supposed to bring up Winnie the Pooh.
Um,
What's that connection about? That's weird. I'm not sure if it's for you or her.
it might be for her because I
Okay.
have very little connection with Winnie the Pooh.
Okay. Okay. Well, pass it on. I don't know what it's about. Uh, I mean, like they're showing me the characters of Winnie the Pooh. It's just kind of
Okay.
like a little awkward and different to see that. So, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not a symbol though. They're I'm
Mhm.
going to make sure I see that correctly there. Um, I'm taking a look at your work life here. Definitely making plans. Okay. So, oh, there's a transition happening there. Okay. So, as far as work,
Mhm.
there's a shift going on there, especially in terms of attitude. Up until this point, you've been very aware of, and I don't mean this in a paranoid way, you've been very aware of other people watching,
Okay.
very aware of being watched, which has tended to get you more into almost a people pleasing mode of
Mhm.
trying to make sure that you can kind of secure things. What work do you do?
Right now, it's just whatever I can make money on. So I'm a dishwasher,
Oh,
helping
okay.
out. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. The thing that they're showing is that, I was talking about the transition kind of thing that's going on. There is a transition that's going on to where it's going to be less about everybody watching and
Mhm.
more about you making the determination of what's going to happen, of not
Oh,
caring about that stuff anymore, and actually making some change on that.
okay.
You're still showing that teaching thing. So what's they keep insisting on the teaching thing, so I'm going to throw it right back in there again.
Mhm.
They're talking about the teaching piece, about pursuing that. If that's a career option, I don't know,
Mhm.
but that's one of the things that I'm supposed to be focusing on, is like teaching something. Like you
Okay.
are, it's like you're hardwired for it.
Mhm.
Because it's not just about what you know, it's all about also about the fact that you can communicate it so well to someone who doesn't know.
Okay.
Um, and that's actually, they show that you think everyone can do that, and they're saying, no, that's actually a talent you particularly have.
Huh.
To really start focusing on that. So that's one of the things they're showing as far as career. Um, seeing where that's going. Yeah, they're showing making plans on that. Have you made like any sense of planning in terms of future stuff, like what you want to be doing, like taking control of the wheel a bit on that?
Um,
Yeah.
Something that I've talked about a little bit was becoming a stay-at-home dad
Oh,
and
okay.
do voice acting on the side.
Oh,
But yeah, that's
okay.
kind of the most planning wise, just because my life's been, as you can tell, 3 years ago, completely different.
Oh, yeah. It would be completely different. Um, really? Oh, okay. You're still, you're not going to let this go. Um, teaching. Oh, that's what they're making me remember. Um, not okay. So I'm not painting you in a corner, and they can't because they're dead. But the fact is, as far as the teaching piece, that the way they're showing it, that's still an open door. It's like an online version, is what they're showing.
Okay.
Um, it's not. It's yeah. They just will not let that go. Um, what state are you in?
Minnesota.
Oh, you're in Minnesota. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. There are. This is weird memory jogs for me.
Mhm.
Um, there are like, I guess the best way I could call them is like virtual academies or virtual schools.
Mhm.
Look, you might look into those. That would be something to
Okay.
look into. That's more like a suggestion based on what they're showing me.
Okay.
Um, that actually might open some doors for you that might be a little more stimulating than washing dishes. Um, not that that's a bad thing, because people
Yeah.
do need their dishes washed. Uh, but yeah, so something to consider there too.
Okay.
Um, yeah, okay. October, November. Things go, it's a good direction, but things change a little bit. I'm seeing like October, maybe November, but toward October.
Okay.
Um, it's the positive. It's going differently though. It's like your life changes course just a little bit.
Okay.
Things are still good. You two are still together, but it's a slight course change, and that might be the whole work piece that starts to finally come together and make some sense, because they are showing a course change there,
Okay.
and it will work out there. So
Okay.
yeah, okay. Oh my gosh, wow, it's 1:30 already. um, goes fast.
Yeah.
Um, are there any other questions or things that you wanted to ask before we finish up for today?
I guess the last thing I have to ask is everyone else on the other side doing well?
Well, they're being characters, if there's anything to say about that. They're very, the word that I used when I was a kid, I grew up in Iowa,
Mhm.
the word we would use is ornery, and
Mm,
that's kind of the way they are.
yeah.
They're very, they're almost like pranksters.
Okay.
The way you know that they're around, the way that they're showing it, is flicking lights off and on and playing with electricity like nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's their big thing, and that's the way they like to let people know they're around, is just literally playing jokes on people and sometimes scaring them, but most of the time just shaking them up a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are happy. They're just really mischievous. On the other side, they're just very mischievous.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, thank you, Don.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Glad we could do this. So
Yeah, me too. This is a lot of fun, and I appreciate all the insight you had as well as everybody else did. It means a
super.
lot.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And when the recording thing is done, I'll send you the link so you can download the recording.
Okay.
So okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're
You have a
welcome.
good day now.
You too. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.